I can't stand Nick Sirianni. I think the act is super tired, but he fits Philadelphia perfectly. On the other hand, the decision to throw the ball to Saquon Barkley, I have no issue with at all. None. Again, you're managing the game, and you felt like kind of in the old Bill Belichick mode, if we get this first down, the game is over. Could have kicked a field goal, right? Made it exceptionally difficult. Also a possibility. What I think is interesting is there's lots of people, some on this network, who will tell you aggressive wins, then somebody's aggressive and they don't win, and they're an idiot. I didn't have any problem with it. And that's the difference between me and other people. And I actually think, we'll talk about this some on the pod, there's some that think that Belichick had negative words about Atlanta because he's mad because he didn't get the Atlanta job. When I'd like to think that he, like me, like you may be pissed at Atlanta for not, or he may not have really wanted that job. He wanted everybody else to drive up Atlanta to drive up the price and the Cowboys to fire Mike McCarthy. I don't know. But the point is that I can think Nick Sirianni's act is tired and a complete, artificial performance, and still say, look, you got a chance to win the game. Go win the football game. And I'm sure every Giants fan was sitting there going like, see, Saquon's a joker. Saquon can't catch out of the backfield. Saquon can't. You can make all those inferences. I think Jalen Hurts has shown he's not nearly as good a thrower. I mean, that interception was a terrible read, a terrible throw. Obviously, he's much more of a runner. I don't have any problem with the decision or even the play, although Dallas Goedert was open. Was Dallas Goedert, who's their tight end? Open right over the middle. But my thing is, we always tell you, be aggressive, be aggressive. Here's a guy, was aggressive, pretty safe play call, doesn't work. And because people don't like Nick Sirianni, they want to go, say, or they don't like the Eagles, say, when the reality is like, I don't know, I kind of like it. I don't like every decision they made. That one, I don't mind. I know they choked. But again, that decision, I don't mind. You have to be able to process, hey, I don't like him. He's, it's like a WWE persona. Doesn't seem like that's how he really is, or if he is, he's just annoying. All those things are fine, fair, okay. But you also have to separate that when you evaluate what he's doing and how he's doing it. And though I don't think the Eagles are nearly as good as maybe the reputation of their players says they should be, I thought in that particular instance, that particular play call, there was nothing wrong. Saquon didn't catch the ball. But I mean, how many times have we seen people just run the ball in the line or kick the field goal and all of a sudden you get in a prevent defense and they march it down the field? I love it. You get a first down, you win a game. One play to win the game. Saquon Barkley's got to catch the ball. Jay Stu, are you in the same place for the Eagles, or is it because you don't like the Sirianni, that you like kind of performative art and that's kind of what he does?
Yeah, Sirianni, the stuff that I didn't like, what was it? He had the chance to accept a penalty for a first down late in the game, and he declined it, which was, I think, the right call time-wise, but it's just the way he did it. Like, he wanted to tell the crowd that it was his decision to decline it.
No question. He's what's called feeling himself.
Yeah. Look at me. Check this out. I just sealed the game for you guys. And then he does this. You're right. I think the decision to pass that ball was easy to criticize today. But my goodness, what happens if you just literally kneel the ball twice? Like, that's what the Manning cast was talking about. Like, they thought they were going to do like a tush push for like 2 plays, and just let that clock go as far as it possibly can.
They kicked the extra point. Yep. No, I got it. I get it. You absolutely can. They didn't do it that way. I don't think he's a great head coach. I think it's an act, and people and players see through it. I don't care about the fans seeing through it. Players, I think, see through it. Decline the penalty. Again, I understand the idea of running down the clock and running out the game and not getting the ball back, but you run the risk of this happening. Dan Byer, where are you on Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, it's funny because I also am not a Sirianni fan. And we've talked about this. I feel that Jalen Hurts is more of the adult in the room than the head coach is, and I think that's a problem. And I felt the same thing, that the people like you and like me would pile on Nick Sirianni for his decision last night. And I actually think it's rightfully so. And the reason is I've thought of this old adage over the last few seasons. I think it's very important in the National Football League. What does the other team want you to do? And when we use that scenario, it's usually in short yardage or fourth down situations, late game situations. What would the Falcons want the Philadelphia Eagles to do? And that is to throw the ball on third down. They didn't want them to run it. It would have taken more time off the clock, to the point of whether it be tush put, brotherly shove, however you want to say it, whether it's taking a knee to wind down the clock some more. But Atlanta wanted you to throw the football because just maybe they'd get an interception or the clock would stop and you wouldn't get any yards with that. Even if they didn't get any yards on the third down run, you're still running another 40 seconds off of the clock. And that's where the decision by Sirianni completely backfired, because the Falcons didn't have any timeouts. They needed to score that touchdown. And now you also gave them an extra 40 seconds in addition to the yardage that they didn't get.
Here's Nick Sirianni after the game.
We wanted to. They were running a certain defense and junking it up in the middle. So we're trying to go around the outside, and it didn't work. Again, in that scenario, I was thinking they might not have any timeouts there, but obviously they did with the incomplete pass. That would have came down to maybe a minute, and so we wanted to go up 6 points. And it didn't work. So the decision to pass it there, again, like I said, where they were junking it up inside, with it being 4th and 3 to go for it, I thought, with them not having any timeouts, I wanted them to be down a touchdown and see if they could drive the field, and they did. Hats off to them.
Yeah, so I don't actually mind any of the answer or any of the response. There's ownership there. There's an explanation there. He didn't throw Saquon under the bus, even though he could have. He didn't throw Jalen under the bus for that horrific interception, even though he could have. So I don't like the Sirianni act in general, but in terms of going for it there, I don't have a problem with it. And then the other part to it is, I have long believed that Jalen Hurts and his one outlier season was just that. It's just that. I don't see him as an elite quarterback. I reserve the right to be wrong, but outside of, whatever that was, 14 games or so 1 year, I haven't been wrong. But those 14 or 15 games, whatever, when he got hurt that MVP year, he was unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's the Doug Gottlieb Show here on Fox Sports Radio. We do have what I think is an outstanding show for you. Jay Stu did a hell of a job today. Did you guys turn off the game?
I did not.
I didn't either. But I did. It was like watching kind of slow death. You're like, all right, this one's over. Started to look around. I was on my phone, and then I looked up and like, wait, what? And then I saw the replay, like, wait, the last minute 45 of that game was, you want to talk about a turnaround, and something I had kind of chalked it up and started kind of moving mentally on from the game, Dan Byer. I just had. There
was a point where I looked at the clock and they had, I think there was 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the game had only taken like 2 hours and 10 minutes. Like, it was only like 7:30 our time. It was like a really, really quick game. And because the Eagles were chewing up clock, there weren't a lot of stoppages. Like, the game was just moving along, and the betting angles keep you locked in even when you've kind of moved on.